sister commented on that the other day. I hadn't really thought about it, but we like that. But more and more you see that. What are our children being taught? This is normal. This is lifestyle. You see, the world is influencing our children. The television, movies, the world, they teach no respect for authority. There are shows, and one of the shows on, I won't try to call the name of it, but it talks about children kissing. The average age child in this particular show is 12. Why do parents allow their children to watch that? Why are they encouraging that? But that's the world. That's what it does. You see, we must teach our children. Sure, we can't isolate them, but we must teach them the truth. We've got to teach them what it means to be different. We've got to teach them what it means to be like Christ. We've got to teach them to have the courage and the conviction to do right regardless of the consequences. Not to go along with the crowd. Not to follow the teaching of the world. Sadly, many of our children and young people are forced to make decisions too early in life. And you know, I like something that Shakespeare said. He spoke of my salad days when I was green in judgment. Think about that for a moment. Green in judgment. That is, he was not mentally prepared. And oftentimes, as parents, we place our children in those kind of circumstances because of the world. I hear parents say, well, I want my children to make decisions. Well, that's fine. Some decisions are okay. Some decisions, they need mom and dad to say, you're going to do this or you're not going to do that because of the world. Now, certainly everything in the world is not evil. They've got to be taught to distinguish between good and evil. Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. James chapter 4 and verse 4. Be not deceived. Evil companions corrupt good morals. 1 Corinthians 15:33. What kind of children do we allow our children to play with? What kind of children do we allow our children to run around with as they get out of the playing stage? And then, of course, in 1 Thessalonians 5:22, abstain from all appearance of evil. You know, it's not enough to say, well, I'm going to walk the fence. It's not really right or wrong. Why do we want them to walk the fence? That's like saying walk down the side of the road. We stayed in a condo up in Gatlinburg, and some of those roads don't have guardrails, and you look off the side and they fall down hundreds of feet. And Kathy commented several times, since she was always on that falling side, about how far down it was. Would we want our children walking along the edge, gambling that they won't fall? Or do we want them on the safe side where they will not fall? Think about it. Children learn to put the same value upon things that we place upon them. They're great imitators. Little boys, when they're growing up and early in life as toddlers, they say, I want to be like Daddy. And little girls often say, I want to be like Mom. And we laugh about that, and we're so thrilled. But we need to remember they're following our example, both good and bad. Oftentimes, children want to be the same profession that Mom or Dad are. Do they want to be a Christian because Mom and Dad are? Does that come up? Do we talk with them about that at an early age? We've got to set the example in all areas. Prayer, Bible study, attendance, faithfulness, our attitude toward helping the needy, and so forth. But second of all, the church. You've got the world out here on one hand, but in the second place, you've got the church. The church has a mission to teach. Not to wine and dine, and sadly, many religious groups today have lost sight of their purpose, even our brethren, of what the work of the church is. The church has a responsibility to teach our children. They're going to be the leaders tomorrow. As Christians, they're active and engaged today, but our boys today will one day be Bible class teachers. One day they will serve as elders and deacons, as preachers. We need to be teaching and encouraging along these lines. We'll talk more about that on another occasion. Did you know that statistically 75 to 95% of those we baptize are in our Bible classes? 75 to 95% of those we baptize are in Bible class. What does that tell you about the importance of our Bible classes? As teachers, what a responsibility. But as parents, we need to back up in the material that we're using. We need to talk with our children. If you don't have a book of what your children are studying on Sunday morning and Wednesday night, pick up one. See Dick, he'll make sure you have one. Talk about this. Use this material for devotionals at night. Repetition is good. Those children, especially the younger ones, they will enjoy going back and talking about what they learned on Sunday morning or Wednesday night. But then the third thing that's competing is the home. The world over here representing Satan, the church over here, and then you and I in the home and the family. This is where our children learn so much. If we look and make sure we take advantage of those teachable moments, those opportunities. Here is where we set the proper example. Here is where we teach our children to be honest. When the phone rings and Junior answers the phone, don't say, tell him if it's so-and-so, I'm not here. What have you just done? You've taught your child a lie. What if you send them to the door knowing who it is and you say, oh, tell them that Mom's not here. Tell them Dad's not here. What have you just done? You've told your child a lie. And then you send them to Bible class. You come in and say, now you know not to lie. What have you done by example? You see, children are looking and they're listening and they're watching and they're going to follow what they see us do more than what they hear. That goes back to the idea of training. They need to see us fathers as good husbands. They need to see us treat our neighbors right. They need to see us show respect to authority, be it our boss or be it law enforcement. If they hear us talking bad about our boss, about law enforcement, can we expect them to do any better with their teachers or principals? No. Children so often tell on us. I've told many of you I can learn more about you from your children in 20 minutes than I can learn talking with you 3 or 4 hours. You know, as adults, we put on these masks and we can hide behind things. Children are honest. Children are honest. They are. Just ask them. You can ask them anything and they'll tell you far more than Mom or Dad wants you to know.